and that's give great patient care. She was, no matter what was going on, she constantly thought about the patient, the physicians, the staff, her family. That's what kept driving her. So with this employee entrance, as you'll see, there's 8 pillars. There's 4 coming in that read inspire, heal, honor, and serve. So when employees come in, that's the focus. That's what you should be focusing your attention to. After you do such great work, you should be leaving and you should be thinking about renewing your promise or your commitment. Peace of mind. We should all have peace of mind that we gave our very best. Passionate. We want everybody to do worthwhile work and be very passionate about that. And then dream. One thing that never failed to amaze me was the dream that we had when Cam was here and what we continued to do when Cam left us. A quick story, then I'm going to turn it over to Walter for the invocation. And I've told this story, and Quint remembers this. There was a group of leaders that went out to San Diego, I believe, or the West. Maybe it was Nevada. And they said that we've got to increase our satisfaction score. And the man to do that was the keynote speaker, and that was Quint Studer. Well, at that time, we couldn't even buy a peanut butter sandwich. We were in desperate needs here. And Mary Ann said, but we've got to do it. And Cam said, don't worry, I've got it. And Quint had never met her. And he said, I saw this skinny blonde-headed lady coming at me like a heat-seeking missile. And it was Cam. And from that day on, we never, ever stopped bugging the Studer group and Quint Studer. We wanted to learn. We were like a sponge for them. So as we go through this dedication, I want you to reflect back, because that's how we get back to where we were, by learning from our history and going back to what worked. So, Walter, I'm going to turn it over to you, and then after that, we'll let Mr. Quint Studer speak, and then we'll do the dedication, okay?
Would you bow with me for our invocation, please? Ever-illuminating Spirit, we recall that you revealed yourself to Moses in the burning bush, and you manifested your presence in the beginning of the church with the appearance of tongues of fire over the heads of the disciples. Both of these reveal your intention to be actively working in our lives. We've seen your Spirit on radiant display in the life of your servant Cam Underhill through her presence, her passion, and her perseverance. She was selfless in her service and was always seeking to enlarge the circle of leadership and influence. She sought to make every effort better and more solid through love and grace. We are recipients of her legacy of light. This flame will serve as a constant reminder of that legacy. Each day we will have the opportunity to display the light of your Spirit in our lives. We can keep the flame burning as we serve each other and those who come to us for help. Let your Spirit burn ever brightly in us all, and let your power be the source upon which we rely to carry forth the art and practice of healing. Amen.
So one of the great things that I get to do is being the senior administrator here, and I've been here for 15 years, is I've got to see us evolve. And we owe a lot of that to the man standing behind me to my left, and that's Mr. Quint Studer. Quint not only is a great speaker, I think that he's a speaker that you can relate to because it's the way he presents it to you. It's just, you bang yourself on the head and you say, we should have been doing that all the time, because it's practical. And without Quint, and I truly mean this, I think without his leadership and with Cam's guidance of leading all of the directors at that time, we would never be at the place we are today. So I want to introduce Mr. Quint Studer, because Quint is not only a great businessman, consultant, philanthropist who gives back, he's also a friend to this hospital. So Quint Studer.
Well, thank you very much. You know, I retired from the Studer Group a couple months ago, and now I'm a community volunteer. And couldn't thank any better place and any better community to be in Easley, South Carolina. A little bit about that. It was actually a press gaining conference, and at the times, you know, when you have 5 kids, I don't know if anybody has 5 children, there's always one outlier somewhere. And we were having a lot of challenges with one of our children. And I remember that day because we talked about that. We're all vulnerable with what's going on. And there's no such thing as leave your family at home or leave your work at work, because the type of people that are attracted to healthcare, that's how we are. We're people. But I do remember speaking that day, and Cam was actually way in the back, and they actually had like a second little deck there. And when I was done, it really was. It's like heat-seeking missile coming toward me. And I was worried I said something wrong, said something that upset her. And but Cam was a remarkable human being. You know, today I came into town. I landed at the Columbia Airport, and I've been going through a little bit of a thought process. When Cam first got cancer, of course, we all went through that with her, and we all celebrated when she went into remission. And I remember the phone call I got when it had metastasized, and they told me the cancer had metastasized, and I called Cam. And then Cam and I talked, and I landed in Columbia Airport, and she drove to Columbia, and we sat in that airport, and we talked. And it was interesting because Cam had two major concerns on her mind. One was her children, Ashlyn, Casey, Cameron. What's going to happen to them? How are they going to be? And that was really where she was at. Never talked about herself, never talked about her cancer, never talked about her death. She talked about what's going to happen with her children and everything she could do to make sure that transition was as soft as it could possibly be. But being Cam, she also asked me if I had any new information on physician relations, because that's what she was working on at the time. Then I left the airport today and drove here, and I had this tremendous urge to go visit her gravesite. So I hit Cam Underhill, Easley, South Carolina, and her obituary came up. And I read her obituary, and it said she was at Memorial Park, Pickens, South Carolina. So I went there, and I actually got there like a little before 1. Now I got here to the hospital about 10 to 2. And I found out it's not easy finding a gravesite at Memorial Park. And I had a map. It's 3A. I had the whole deal. And about 20 to 2, I got really worried. Because I said, I'm going to have to get to that hospital, and I'm not going to be able to see her gravesite and talk to her a little bit. But then I thought of Cam. I said, Cam would not give up. Cam would not say, well, I tried real hard, did my best, I'll just exit. And lo and behold, as soon as I said I won't give up, I looked, and there was Cam Underhill. See, because Cam Underhill will never be away from you, never be away from our family, never be away from us. So when I dedicated my book on HCAPS, I dedicated it to Cam, because she truly was a fire starter. When I was called a fire starter the first time, I didn't know what it meant. And then a person explained in earliest civilization, they had people that kept the flame alive. And if those people didn't keep the flame alive, civilization would have ended. And they said in healthcare, we need fire starters. We need people to keep the flame alive. And there's winds. There's external pressure that we don't plan on. There's internal challenges. There's ups and downs, like I told Brian. There's times when you get a little bit off track. There's times when you go a little bit backwards. But you have values. If you have values, your discomfort always brings you back to home. And there's probably no better place with stronger values than Baptist Easley, and this is what it's about. Now, we talk about physician relations. We talk about Pam's awards on total quality. We talk about what she did to drive patient experience. But this is where it fits. This is where it should be. Because Pam understood underneath all those were the employees. And her main goal was to make sure that employees have a great place to work for good people, and can truly, by doing that, provides great patient care. So I can't think of a better place to talk about Cam Underhill. I can't think of a better tribute to have a flame. And I can't think of a better thing to do than to have pillars that give us a message when we walk in and give us a message when we walk out. I've often heard the only legacy we really have is the people we touch. And if that is true, which I believe it is, then Cam Underhill leaves an unbelievable legacy because of the many people that she has touched. And I am so grateful, so very grateful that I was part of the people that she touched. Thank you very much for allowing me to be here.
Well, the good news is we don't have to remember 3A. because we have a memorial here, a dedication, and one of Cam's last words right before she left us was she looked up to some of her friends and families and she said, keep the flame burning. So if you knew Cam, when you walk by this memorial, I challenge you, keep the flame burning. If you don't know Cam, I challenge you to learn more about her and start your own flame and keep it burning. This flame here, as we walk through the doors and start to give patient care, we need to take time to look and to recognize what Cam wanted us to do. So I'd like for her family to come up, and we're going to count down from 5. I tell you what, I'm going to come to you. How about that? I can't. Okay. We're going to count down from 5, and when we hit 0, we're going to start the flame and we're going to keep it burning for Cam's honor. Okay? The family will start it, and then you can join in. All right? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Look. So, I invite you to stay around. There's a plaque that will be placed on the flame in her honor. We've got refreshments over here. Reunite, tell stories, let's laugh, and let's enjoy like Cam wanted us to, okay? Thank you.